สวัสดีครับผมชื่ออาจารย์คริสและท่อนนี้อยู่เชียงใหม่นะครับท่อนนี้อยู่เชียงใหม่และคนอยู่เชียงใหม่พูดภาษาเหนือครับภาษาเหนือเป็น a dialect of ภาษาไทย so Thailand has 4 dialects, really 3. There's the central one, which would technically be the 4th, but that is just general Thai language, ภาษาไทย. And then there are 3 different dialects from that, major ones at least. So there's the northern dialect, ภาษาเหนือ. There is the Issan dialect, or the northeastern dialect, ภาษาอีสาน which really is essentially just Laotian language. And the southern one is ภาษาใต้ not to be confused with ภาษาไทย. ภาษาไทย means Thai language, but ภาษาใต้ means southern Thai language. So don't confuse those two. They sound the same, but it's a completely different tone. So the 4 dialects could essentially be their own languages in and of themselves. They have their own writing systems. They have entirely their own vocabulary. There's a lot of similarities to the central Thai language, but they could be their own. Though generally, I'm going to say about 99.9% of the population cannot read or speak entirely in their dialect language. At least I know for sure that's the case in the north. So in the north, you have a full language that maybe some monks can read, but the majority of people can't read. So they use their northern language sort of as almost a gimmick, I want to say. So you can speak the northern language. You're considered able to speak the northern language if you know just a handful of words. So if you can say those words, then wow, you speak the northern language. You speak the language of the country. So some of the sayings in these languages that you can know. So there are different levels of speaking it. So sometimes if you really get out in the countryside, there might be some people that kind of speak it much more than those within the cities. But generally knowing a few words, most Thai people will say, oh wow, you know this language, and it's kind of weird, but it's sort of like a gimmick. I'd say the difference, someone actually told this to me, the difference might be maybe American English to Australian English. So if you know a few slang words here and there, you speak Australian English. But I mean, technically they have their whole own writing system and a whole other language. But for the most part, if you can say a few slang words, then you're considered able to speak the language. So some of those words, for example, in Central Thai they say สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ but in Northern Thai they say สวัสดีเจ้า so เจ้า is like the polite particle, and actually only women say that. So in Northern Thai, men say สวัสดีครับ, but women say สวัสดีเจ้า. Another one where you have some differences, ไม่เป็นไร. So in the Central Thai language, it's ไม่เป็นไร. In the Southern Thai language, they say ไม่พรือ ไม่พรือ. In the Issan language, they say บ่เป็นหยัง. And in the Northern Thai language, they say บ่เป็นหยังเจ้า. Or at least women say that, บ่เป็นหยังเจ้า. So it means, ไม่เป็นไร, same thing. The Issan language and the Northern language have a lot of similarities between the two, because a lot of them adapt words from Laotian. And actually the Issan language is Laotian. And so what originally happened was the Laotian people and Issan people both spoke their language, and they called it Laotian, and they spoke that same language because they shared the Mekong River Valley was shared. So people on both sides, it was a part of a larger kingdom that actually both spoke one language. And with the rise of communism in Laos, the Thai government and a lot of other Western powers didn't want the Issan people to feel like they were in any way culturally associated with the Laotian people. So they actually changed the name, or made up a name for Issan people, and called them Issan rather than Laotian, even though their language and their ethnic roots are Laotian. So they felt that if they maybe had a different cultural identity, then they wouldn't go with the communists in Laos, which I guess it technically worked. I don't know if you could say that was the reason, but it certainly probably contributed to one of the reasons why northeastern Thailand didn't go communist. So I can't really say I know much words, or I can't really say I know many words in the Issan language or the southern Thai language, but I do know a fair amount of words in the northern language, and I can list a few off here that might be able to help you, especially if you're in Chiang Mai or any of the northern provinces. You can use these words and they will really get you a long way. So one that's very, very common up here in Chiang Mai is sao. Sao means 20. So I'm sure the northern language system has all of its numbers, a completely different number system than Thai, general Thai language, but for some reason they only use the number 20. So every other number, normal Thai language, but if you say the number 20 in the northern Thai dialect, wow, you speak the northern Thai language. So when you get in the Song Tao, you can say Ta Pei Gate, Sao Bat, which means I want to go to Ta Pei Gate, 20 baht. And so if you say Sao instead of Yisip, they may take you a little more seriously and they may give you that price. So I found it works most of the time. If you speak a little northern language, you get a better price, at least for transportation. Another one that I mentioned earlier, but Swaddi Jiao. Jiao is like it means ka for women only. So men will just say ka, but women, take note of this. If you're in the north, you can say Swaddi Jiao instead of Swaddi ka. And then you can just use it just as you would ka. So if you want to say yes to something, you just say jiao, using that instead of ka. So in central Thai, if you want to say something's delicious, you say aroi. But in northern Thai, you say lam. So lam means delicious in northern Thai. And actually in Issan, it's set. So if you want to say something is good or delicious in northern language, you say, oh, lam kanat. So lam, delicious, and kanat, it means size. It just is the word for like a size of clothing. But in this way, it means like very delicious, like aroi mak, lam kanat. If you want to say mak in the northern Thai language, you say ta. So lam ta. It means aroi mak. In Issan, so sep means delicious. So if you want to say very, very, so mak in Issan is lai. So you say sep lai. Oh, sep lai. So another one in northern Thai, doi. Doi means mountain. So in southern Thai, in central Thai, you'd say pukao for a mountain, but in northern Thai, they call them doi. So doi Intanon is just doi, or Intanon mountain. Doi Sutab mountain. And lastly, in central Thai, if you want to ask a question, you say mai. So you use that particle at the end of a sentence to create a question. But in Issan and in northern Thai and in Laotian as well, they're all the same. You say ba. So if you want to ask if something's good in Issan, you say sep ba. Is that good? Sep ba. If you want to know if something is delicious in northern Thai, you say lamba, and then you can respond lam kanat. Oh, lam kanat. So there are many more words you can learn in the northern, southern, or Issan dialect. I'm just presenting you with just a handful of them and kind of briefly explaining how it all works. So if you use some of these words, Thai people are going to be very, very impressed with you. It's very easy to just learn a couple of them, and they will really go a long way for you. So thank you so much for watching this video lesson. Please take a look at the description for all these vocabulary words listed again, and please subscribe to my video feed if you'd like to see more of these lessons. ขอบคุณมากครับ เจอกันครับ